Hello, and thank you for deciding to come to iHire for expert advice on your resume. My name is Danielle Crabb, and I'm your resume analyst. Before I get into your resume, I must warn you that my comments will be very direct and honest, so please take them seriously, but not personally. The reality is that the job market is very competitive, so it's most beneficial that I don't sugarcoat my comments because many job seekers struggle with viewing the resume objectively as a marketing tool. Typically, most hiring managers and decision makers will consider only the top 20% of applicants based upon volume of resumes received, qualifications, and current market conditions. Here at iHire, we know what it takes to have a successful resume, and my comments will reflect the thoughts of our certified advanced resume writers. Throughout the video, you will see solid examples from professionally written resumes. Keep in mind the examples I show were created for a particular person's situation. The resume made specifically for you would of course be different. That being said, let's begin your resume review. There is a glaring mistake in the top section of your resume. You are completely missing one of the most essential parts, the summary statement. The summary statement is one of the most read sections of the entire document. By excluding this section, you have abandoned one of the most valuable elements on your resume. It is vital to understand that you have 10 seconds to grab the reader's attention. The top half of the first page of the resume is the prime real estate. Don't you want to wow the reader so they continue to read through the rest of your document? A compelling summary statement does just that. It can earn you an additional 30 to 45 seconds. An inspiring summary statement like the one shown here in this example establishes the focus of the resume and provides the reader with a concise picture of the value you offer, signifies where you're headed in your career, and helps keep you out of the no pile. Also, you want to include an industry-specific core competency section to support the summary, grab the reader's attention from the start, and aid in getting the resume through applicant tracking systems. Applicant tracking systems are designed to weed out resumes and find the ones that best match an employer's required skills. You'll want to do this by using a simple format to put in industry terms and skills that an employer will be looking for. See this example of a core competency section? With over 80% of employers using these systems, this section is a vital piece of the resume. You have to get through the applicant tracking system in order to get into the hands of the decision maker. Now let's move on to your experience section. What I'm seeing is pretty basic. Unfortunately, basic information like day-to-day job responsibilities and duties doesn't exactly make you stand out. As a matter of fact, anyone who's ever worked at one of your previous employers and held the same position as you could virtually say the same things that you have. Since that is the case, why should an employer hire you? What have you done that others in your position haven't done? What do you bring to the table that most others don't? Where are all the details here? For example, a term like this is a weak phrase to use. Not only does it introduce a task rather than a result or success, it also makes your job description sound more like boring obligations rather than opportunities. This is not what you want to communicate to employers. To draw the reader in, you must define your qualifications and capabilities in an easy-to-read format, along with quantifiable information. From the way the resume is worded, you seem to be more of a doer than an achiever. To be effective and create excitement through this section of the resume, your content needs to be results-based. You want to show these employers why they should bring you in for the interview instead of someone else. Employers are looking for results, so it's critical to draw the reader's eye to your achievements. Tell the employer if you met demanding objectives, cut costs and supplies and materials, or improved client satisfaction. Give them the details, numbers, percentages, and end results so they can measure how successful you were in previous positions. They will also see how you have solved similar problems to theirs and that you have achieved the results they are looking for. Look at this. These statements are very vague and simply don't paint a strong picture. It's like me saying, I rode my bike last week. Here is what I could have said to paint a whole new picture. My bike ride was actually for a bike-a-thon, and I placed in the top 10 out of more than 500 bikers, all while recovering from a knee injury. See the difference? It's all in the wording. Overall, the content of your resume is too bland. The wow factor isn't there. Professionally written resumes have a paragraph of responsibilities and then use a separate format like bullets to draw a reader's eye to achievements. Look at the professional example here. See the duties in a paragraph followed by bulleted and quantifiable achievements that paint an inspiring picture? The language of your resume has poor impact, does not generate excitement, and does not position you as a leader in your area of expertise. It is average and not what you want to convey when trying to sell your abilities and position yourself above the competition. It reads like every other resume and will not inspire most readers to contact you. I highly recommend working on improving this aspect of your resume. Most of the resumes I review include mechanical errors like I see here in your document. Keep in mind, a resume is a specific form of communication. It's critical to pay close attention to spelling, punctuation, spacing, grammar, formatting, syntax, and capitalization. Most job seekers who write their own resumes rely on a spell check or grammar check tool to proofread their resumes. The automated tool is not foolproof, and relying on it gives a user a false sense of security. Review your resume carefully. You must be sending an error-free document to employers. Additionally, make sure you're engaging the reader rather than boring the reader by utilizing the English language to its fullest potential by finding synonyms for words in the resume that are repeated frequently. Filler words such as a, and, the, and others should be excluded from the document. Taking the filler words out of the resume conveys confidence and keeps the reader engaged in the meat of the document. Lastly, keep in mind that the use of first-person writing is a must, but do this while excluding all of the I's, me's, and my's. The only thing that will get you an interview other than personal connections is your resume. Therefore, you need to write each and every line to inspire the reader to continue. If you bore the reader, they will simply put aside your resume and move on to the next one. Do not include months on a resume when writing dates of employment. The proper way to include employment dates is to use years only. Look at this sample. Instead of putting 2 of 05 to 1 of 06, just years would read 2005 to 2006. This will help take attention off any employment gaps. Don't forget, the first impression an employer gets from your resume is visual. Attractiveness to the eye naturally makes the reader want to spend more time viewing the document. Ease of reading and skimming, consistent organization, logical flow, and good use of design elements such as bold font, alignment, proper spacing, and so on, all make for a more positive impression. A lot can be done with formatting and design to improve first visual impressions. I'm sure you've heard the saying, you can't judge a book by its cover. Well, the saying is almost always true, except when you're speaking of a resume. Remember, the resume is your cover, and the reader will judge you by how well you present your experience, skills, and accomplishment in this document. I would strongly recommend implementing a more attractive or reader-friendly design to provide a better first impression and better readability. Go back and reread your resume, and you will see that this document is selling you short. The bottom line is your resume simply does not fully reflect your professional caliber, and you are not making the first impression count. I am sure you're a strong candidate, but your resume does not signify that. Keeping today's job market in mind, it's my professional opinion that your resume needs an overhaul. A strategy needs to be developed. Begin by creating a strong summary to get the reader's attention, a core competency section to help with getting past the applicant tracking systems, and a well-written, concise content to include quantifiable information to set you apart from the other job seekers. I realize achievements can be difficult to convey on paper, and like myself, most of us aren't professional writers. Here is an example of a before and after resume completed by our certified advanced resume writers to help you see what you could be competing against in this job market. The job market is very tough right now, and employers are looking for the people with the best resumes to interview. According to our 2012 Registered User Survey, you are 37% more likely to get the interview and 33.6% more likely to receive multiple job offers with a professionally written resume. I want you to get the best results possible. So I would suggest working with our certified advanced resume writers here at iHire who specialize in particular fields. We offer a satisfaction guarantee with the writing service. Regardless of whether you use iHire's resume writing services or not, my professional recommendation is to make my suggested changes on your document before moving too much further into a serious job search. Feel free to order your resume on our website at the Resume Writing tab on your dashboard, or give me a call if you'd like to discuss it first at 877-798-4854, extension 214. I hope you found my review of your resume to be beneficial, and I look forward to working with you. I wish you much success in your job search.